Frederick Deeming was an infamous English-born criminal who was executed in Albany Gaol, Australia, in 1892. He is notable not only for his heinous crimes, but also because he was speculated to be Jack the Ripper, although this theory is widely disputed and considered unlikely by most historians and criminologists. Frederick Deeming was born in Ashby-de-la-Zouch, Leicestershire, England, in 1853. He had a troubled life marked by criminal activity from a young age. Deeming was a conman, bigamist, and murderer, known for his cunning and manipulative behavior. He traveled extensively, committing crimes in various countries including England, South Africa, and Australia. Deeming's most notorious crime was the murder of his wife and 4 children in England in 1891. He bludgeoned them to death and buried their bodies under the floor of his rented home in Rainhill near Liverpool. After these murders, Deeming fled to Australia under the alias Albert Williams, where he married another woman, Emily Mather. He subsequently murdered her as well, burying her body under the floor of their house in Windsor, a suburb of Melbourne. The discovery of Emily Mather's body led to his arrest. Deeming's trial for the murder of Emily Mather was sensationalized and drew widespread public attention. He was convicted and sentenced to death. On May 23, 1892, Deeming was hanged at Melbourne Gaol. The theory that Deeming might have been Jack the Ripper emerged due to several factors. Deeming was in London during the period when the Jack the Ripper murders occurred in 1888. He was known to have lived in the Whitechapel area, where the murders took place. Both Deeming and Jack the Ripper displayed extreme violence in their crimes. However, Deeming's known victims were his family members and a subsequent wife, unlike the Ripper, who targeted prostitutes. Deeming was considered to be highly disturbed and had a documented history of violent and erratic behavior, similar to the profile often attributed to Jack the Ripper. Despite these connections, most experts dismiss the idea that Deeming was Jack the Ripper for several reasons. There is no concrete evidence linking Deeming directly to the Ripper murders. While both criminals were brutal, the methods and circumstances of their killings were different. Before Deeming committed the murders in England and Australia that made him infamous, he had a history of criminal activities that led to his imprisonment in Albany Gaol. In 1881, Deeming arrived in Western Australia, having previously committed various frauds and thefts in England and South Africa. Using the alias Harry Lawson, he continued his criminal activities in Australia. Deeming was arrested in Albany, Western Australia, in 1881 for fraud and other related crimes. He had been involved in a series of swindles, including attempting to defraud suppliers and employers. He was sentenced to 6 months in Albany Gaol. During his time in prison, Deeming was known for his unruly and difficult behavior, which made him a problematic inmate. After serving his sentence in Albany Gaol, Deeming was released and continued his life of crime. After his release, he resumed his fraudulent activities. He managed to evade the law multiple times by using different aliases and constantly moving locations. Deeming traveled extensively, committing crimes in various countries, including returning to England, where he committed the murders of his first wife and 4 children in 1891. Deeming's time in Albany Gaol was just one episode in a long career of criminal activity. His criminal behavior escalated significantly after his imprisonment there, culminating in the multiple murders that led to his execution in Melbourne. The time in Albany Gaol was a precursor to his later, more violent crimes, showing a trajectory of escalating criminal behavior. In conclusion, Frederick Deeming's imprisonment in Albany Gaol is an important part of his criminal history.